Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Here's what's coming up on the program. Minister of Interior Tunji-Ojo says President Bola Tinubu did not campaign to perform magic appeals to citizens to show understanding and give the government more time to reset the economy. Let's begin the tracking of the polity from the planned nationwide protests in just about 3 days, where human rights lawyer and senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Igbokwe, has asked the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to probe telecommunications operators' alleged disconnection of subscribers. Mr. Igbokwe, in a statement, warned that telcos should not attempt to sabotage the forthcoming protests against economic hardship in Nigeria by restricting internet access among displeased citizens. Part of the statement reads, for the past few days, some telecom companies have been disconnecting their subscribers for flimsy and untenable reasons. Some alleged lack of NIN registration or linking, while some didn't give any reason at all. This action is coming on the heels of the proposed struggle of the people against hunger, poverty, suffering, and the suffocation of economic policy of the Tinubu administration. End of quote. The human rights activist adds that from all indications, it will seem that the underlying target of the telecom companies is to limit the reach of their customers. In the meantime, the Minister of Interior, Tunji-Ojo, is appealing to dissatisfied Nigerians to give President Bola Tinubu more time to address the country's economic woes. The minister, who was a guest on our program, Sunday Politics, appealed to intending participants of the August protest to be patriotic. He says the president should not be judged with expectation to solve a 100-year problem in 1 year, maintaining that no economy is built overnight.
Honestly, do not understand what you mean by maybe I'm worried about perception or the capacity or capability of this government. I don't think that is on the table. The government is doing well in terms of when you look at the indices, certain indices. And I tell you this, but when you judge the government based on ability of this particular administration to solve a 100-year-old problem in 1 year, then you might be having your sort of assertion. Let me tell you this, Nigeria's Mr. President, to the best of my knowledge, never campaigned to be a magician. He campaigned as a statesman. He campaigned on the basis of renewed hope. Before a hope can be renewed, it means it had dwindled. And when you want to reboost, when you want to revigorate a hope that has really gone down, when you want to reprocess a system that is down, you need a bit of time. And within this time, are we on the right steps? Yes. And I will tell you this, leadership, it's not about easy decisions.
Also, Northern governors share a similar position with the minister. Perhaps is why they are asking Nigerian youths to desist from the planned nationwide protest and should rather channel their energies into constructive dialogue with government, not to allow persons they describe as disgruntled individuals to use them to advance their political agenda in the name of protest. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa and his counterpart from Kaduna, Ubasani, in separate appeals, called on Nigerians to pray for peace and unity.
As momentum gathers for the commencement of a nationwide protest against bad governance, the Nasarawa State Governor, Abdullahi Sule, is meeting with stakeholders. In attendance are traditional rulers, religious leaders, youth groups, student unions, local council chairmen, security heads and labor unions. He appeals for restraint.
An appeal to all of you, especially our youth and labor organizations, to shelve the idea of this protest in Nasarawa State. In addition, to appeal to our security agencies, to be ready to work with people who, in case anything like that will come up.
Youth of Karo local government area that borders the state with the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, alongside members of the Christian Association of Nigeria and Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, dissociates from the action, choosing dialogue and appealing for government action in tackling challenges.
instead of losing our lives at the cost of looking for solutions, it is better we consider dialogue and as a religious body to pray to God.
We are not partaking in the protest, but they should come to the aid of our masses through employment, through security effort. Let them bring about security in our society that will allow our people to go to farm freely without any problem.
In Kaduna State, while highlighting some of the modest achievements and interventions towards transformation in the education sector in Kaduna, the state governor urges the students to withdraw from participating in the protests.
Continue to collaborate and dialogue with the government and stay away from any act that can destabilize the peace and progress of our state. That is my call to all the students sitting here. And I can see the students sitting here. I have no doubt in my mind, when coming into this very important hall, I've seen placards, no protest. You are welcoming dialogue, and for me, that is the way to go.
In Adamawa State, youth groups under the auspices of Adamawa Activists Unite made their position known at a media briefing in Yola, the Adamawa state capital. According to them, it has become expedient for them to withdraw for the fear of it being hijacked by miscreants. This position is shared by Nigerian ethnic youth leaders who addressed a news conference in Abuja.
We stand before you to announce the withdrawal of our planned peaceful protest. This decision was made after careful consideration of numerous advisories from individuals, various groups, security agencies, and stakeholders. We urge the federal government of Nigeria to take prompt and decisive action to address the following critical national issues.
With the current state of the nation, some Nigerian youth believe that it is essential to promote the peace and security of the nation first, rather than embarking on a protest that might lead to a breakdown of law and order in the country. Halima Agayam, Channels Television News.
One of the mobilizers of the planned End Bad Governance protests and director of Take It Back movement, Damilare Adenola, has been speaking on plans ahead of August the 1st, rather. Mr. Adenola explains that no matter the setback, the youth will be mobilized to come out and exercise their rights.
The agitation emanated from Twitter, and the Take It Back being an organization which has been responsible for organizing several protests in this country, pro-human rights protests in this country, and has, consistently called out thoughtless government policies in this country, only felt that, oh, this is why we, started this organization, and we should be here, we should be on ground to give support to Nigerians who are saying...
How much have you been able to put together for this, for the organization?
How much?
Yeah, in terms of monetary support that you have gotten.
I'm not aware we have gotten any monetary. We are not doing this for monetary support, so I don't think we should be having...
But people are supporting, isn't it?
People are supporting themselves, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, very recently, the account of the TIB was arbitrarily blocked. It is also right to say that there are supports from human rights organizations who exist for this purpose. You understand? So trying to, fish out who the organizers are is very immaterial to the condition of the Nigerian people. The truth is that the Eagle Square is a public property. And when I saw the video of the minister, I was amazed, because I saw the minister asking us to pay rent, pay security fees. My question to the minister is that, how does the minister expect Nigerian youths, a greater population of Nigerian youths who are impoverished, who are unemployed, who have no jobs, to afford the exorbitant amount is requesting for us to pay?
So whatever happens, you will go ahead to use Eagle Square.
We are going to be at Eagle Square.
But it's always locked,
August 1st.
With security.
Of course, we would speak to them if they have the interest of the people. If they really, have the will to serve us, then they should be willing to provide that venue for us. Security agencies, if they are sincere, should be available. They should be on ground on the day of the protest. And if they sense any form of violence, they should be there to arrest the situation.
As one of the leading groups, so you cannot guarantee that this will not go south.
The security agencies should be able to guarantee, if they are sincere and they want to show, this is an opportunity for them to show their competence.
Well, the jury is divided over this issue. Apparently, we've been joined in the program by an APC chieftain, and is being vocal as well on the social media. Mr. Igbokwe joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Mr. Igbokwe, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I don't need to ask where you belong. Apparently, you're a member of the APC, so I know that I want to dare to say you're against the protest.
Thank you.
But if I'm wrong, please do correct me. So let's begin. You see what the gentleman said. He said there's no going back on this one. The government on their side, are they taking time to listen to what these people want? Whether it's strong enough to say, look, we have a right to go on because these demands are not met?
I'm an activist myself. We struggle for democracy. And I'm the author of Heroes of Democracy in 1999. If you check it today, it's 25 years. So I've been in it for too long. People have the right to protest, to say, this is what we want, this is what we want you to do for us. You know, they have the right. I am a protester any day. That's what got me where I am today. And because 25 years ago, we struggled for democracy. We know the number of people that died for democracy. It was documented in that book. But that will not make us, that will not permit us to say, look, yeah, they must not. No. People should demonstrate. They should protest. But the one we had last time taught us a lesson. I was in cabinet in Lagos as special advisor on environment. And my office is very close to this expressway. And I was watching. I saw the protesters. I saw them lying down on blocking this expressway for 3 hours. Lagos Ibadan Expressway, through my window. The Ministry of Environment is very close to the road there. I saw them through pure water to leaders of Lagos when they were talking to them in Alausa Square there. I cannot narrate to you what happened thereafter. The looting of Lagos, the burning of Lagos. What Lagos will spend dealing with solving that problem of 2020 and SARS project, you know, it's trillions. They have not been able, in some areas, they haven't even started.
But the argument against this 2020 is that if you look at the sequence of events, that protest was so peaceful until that 20th. In fact, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu visited those protesters. And then when they made, I think, 5 for 5 requests or so, and the government said, we've answered you, now go home. They said they are not going home because they escalated just beyond all of that. They wanted more things to be done. And then the government called in the army, which was a back and forth as to who called in the army. And then that was when things escalated. So for all intents and purposes, without speaking for the protesters, from experts we've talked to, at the end of the day, they were peaceful until they were infiltrated.
Yeah. There were no leaders. They said there were no leaders that you can talk to. It was peaceful. For how many days?
For weeks.
What pushed, you know, the destruction that we saw was fake news that people were killed. 90, 80 were killed. My children were attacking me at home. They were crying. 80 people, 70 people, 90 people. Nobody was killed.
That's an argument that I don't want to start with
people
you.
will come out. People
that's
will
an
come
argument.
No, people will
that's
come
an
out.
argument I don't want to have with you. But there are people were said to be killed on that particular day.
Let us leave that one. But nobody came up and said, my son was killed, my daughter was killed. As I speak to you, nobody. Nobody.
The people died in that protest.
I wouldn't know. Nobody.
Okay, say what you know. The people died in that protest according to what we saw.
I said protest is guaranteed in a democracy. But how you conduct yourself is the problem. Before we know what happened, after the NSAS 2020, we and the governors went to Lekki Mall. And they told us, they gathered, Lekki no, the government was raised down. They stole everything, and they said, anytime there is a protest or something, their next target is, no, they said, they told us that this is the third time they are coming to that place. I said they cannot continue with the business.
So how should government, because we can keep going back to, whether people were killed, people were not killed, what happened at Lekki, we go argue that. Some people say people were killed, some people say people were not killed. So we don't even want to go to that argument.
No,
Let's talk about
what is
the
happening?
one that is coming out. Section 40, in fact, from Section 37, we begin to, the Constitution began to guarantee us freedom. 39 talked about freedom of expression. 40 talked about freedom of assembly. 41 talked about freedom of movement. But there's a proviso in 45 that said this can be invalidated if it
gets out of hand.
If it gets out of hand at the end of the day. So there is a collective and shared responsibility and right on both ends. Shouldn't government be thinking of more of protecting the core protesters? Maybe a venue, say, you can do it at this venue, don't go beyond this venue, rather than all of the things we're hearing.
The thing is that we don't know those behind this.
No, they have got, the gentleman is one of them. Adenala was a Damilare.
Okay, they're just coming over. You know, initially...
Chore has been a big supporter. We can go on and on with the names.
You know, let us be... I was talking about our experiences, you know, here in Lagos. I told you I'm one of them. Chore is my friend, you know. So I'm one of them. But, you know, actions carry consequences. When you misstep, you know, or take the side that you don't want to, that will lead to destruction, you know, people will begin to worry.
Let me say, but what do you do to a hungry man? Inflation number of 40%. I had an interview. We had an interview on the morning brief with a gentleman who has diabetes. He used to buy his drugs for 3,000 naira. I think it's insulin or so. He needs 3 in a month. At most, he spends 9,000. Today, he came on that show and told us he now spends 22,000 for that one drug, and he needs 3. He said he has to sacrifice his children's school fee at some point to be able to stay alive to take care of them. Everywhere you go, headline inflation 15% higher, 10% higher, food inflation 15% higher. The numbers are all in the red. The economy is biting hard. What do you tell a hungry man?
Well, I cannot tell you that all is well. Problems are part of life. You know, we all buy in the same market, and I feel it, I see it. But and you have a right to protest, I'm telling you, but when people say days of rage, people like us will frown. Because the last one, that's 2021. If you get to Aden, I've told you about Mall in Lekki, Aden Rogunsanya, Bode Thomas and all that. They looted the place. And a woman said that for the first time, he has seen what a situation would be like without police. They witnessed, you know, their eyes cannot believe what they saw. So they imagine a situation where you can have a state without a police officer.
So what does this government want? You don't want people to ever protest again? Because there's no time people will come out and there will not be security concern given the situation. Let me ask you a straight question.
Yes.
If the APC was not in power and the PDP or the Labour Party were in power and things were this bad, would the APC support this protest or back this protest or be at the vanguard of this protest?
No. Nobody's saying that you cannot protest.
Okay.
But you are learning from history and what is going on. Everybody's hungry. Things are very expensive. What is in government mind is the outcome. The outcome. We have a history behind us about 2020. The outcome. The government say, let us talk. Come out, let us talk. Let us talk. Give us time. This is just 1 year in office. It takes you about 1 year. It may take up to 1 year for you to pull your cabinet in a nation like Nigeria where you have to be balancing and doing this and all that. So they themselves everybody's feeling the pains. But the fact that some of us are in government and you are in government, you are comfortable, you are not. Some of them are not foolish. The president is not foolish. They think the president has failed, but he cannot fail. I know him very well. It's not today. So all they need, all the government said we're looking for time. Let's not, Yes, things are difficult, but let us go out and vent anger. When you say days of rage, and vent anger in the public and destroy even the ones we have.
To be fair to the government,
yes,
we've seen effort, and we'll continue to say efforts are not in short supply. But we're not seeing result. And the truth, the fact is that there has never been a government. Quote me if I'm wrong. You've been in this thing, I'm sure you're older, so you've been in Nigeria more than I've been. Since 1999 to now, there's no government that has promised a better life, and Nigeria's life really got better. So we always ask the question, what is different about Bola Tinubu that he said he's going to reset the economy and life will get better? Life is even harder now than during a recession. So what is better is a question I would like you to answer. But we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, you respond to that question as we begin to wind down. Join us again.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients.
Welcome back. I have Mr. Igbokwe, who is an APC leader in Lagos State, and of course, a former member of the cabinet as a special advisor. He's very vocal as well on the social media. He's here to respond to some of the concerns of the people who are trying to protest. So I'm going to ask two questions in one. First, what is different about President Bola Tinubu? I landed on that. And second, he's a leader of the country. Whatever happens next is going to fall on his head as our president. So what do you think he can do to dissuade these young people beyond talk? Because I think they're tired of talk. They want action. What action do you think they want?
Let me tell you, that Tunji-Ojo I know will not fail this nation. You may say that other people may have failed, but he will not fail this nation because he knows where he's going. He stands for something. He can be trusted because he has antecedents. He will not fail. All he needs is organization, support. Yes, things are bad. Inflation is there, even though Nigeria is not the only country in the world that is witnessing inflation, you know. It's even in the US, even in the UK, even in other areas. But, you know, when he became the governor of Lagos in 1999, this kind of things happened. There were refugees everywhere. He was busy planning. He set up a 40-man committee to help him fashion out, you know, a roadmap for Lagos. And it took some time. Everything was almost a standstill in Lagos. Refugees everywhere. He finished. He set up a 40-man committee, and they gave him a template to work with. In 1 week, he cleared all the mess in Lagos and began the process and raised the IGR of Lagos to a number I cannot remember now. And the thing has continued to be on the steady rise. That is a leader for you. And we didn't make a mistake to bring him up. He will not fail. But he needs our support. What he's asking for is, yes, I know that things are not too good. We have inflation.
No, things are really bad.
Yes,
they are
not too good.
Too good
They're
is a
bad.
good word.
Yes,
you
remove subsidy. Yes, subsidy. All these things started. But everybody has his own plan. Maybe by the time this refinery, Dangote refinery, start working, and we fix our 4 refineries, things will be getting better.
As we begin to wind down, Mr. Igbokwe, what can he do to stop these young people from coming out? Because these young people are saying there are certain things they may want to see, and nobody will even bother coming out. What do you think those things can be? Because there's a difference between listening to the young people and hearing it based on anxiety over what it can escalate into. Those are two different things. What do you think he can do? If you are sitting in the same room with him and say, Mr. President, this is what I think you should do, what would it be?
Well, good governance. Governing by example, doing things, you know, laying the foundation. Let them see what you are doing. And they can see the restructuring that is going on. It's not easy for you to do that. What I want the young people to do is to know that this man is not a failure and he has antecedents, you know where he's coming from. He's dependable, he can be trusted. It's trust. He said, okay, let's see. You just came into office 1 year.
Trust is a luxury word in Nigerian citizen and leadership position. It's okay.
Everybody's not the same. Okay. Everybody is the same. He came from a long journey. I can tell you as a writer how he got here. and build the bridges. What he has antecedents in Lagos. This Lagos you see, we know what the IGR used to be until he came and created multiple agencies and made me one of the general manager of the agencies to work with telecom operators. And so, Lagos changed. Go and look at the IGR of Lagos today. The same thing is happening in Abuja. So there's money now than we had before. So, well, a lot is coming.
Some people are saying it should bring back subsidies. Some people are saying don't. Specifically, what action? Besides, you've mentioned good governance. The young people don't want to hear stories. You trust the president. Some of them may not trust the president because they do not know him. Yeah. So
they do not know him, and they
what else can he do to make them not to come out?
If they present themselves, we want these people to come out. Come out. Okay. And NLC had issues. They came out and spoke to President one-on-one. Made them come out.
Well, maybe
bring yourself out and go and I'm sure President will meet them.
They are beginning to come out. I wish we had more time to talk. But
this one is just one person.
They are beginning to come out.
This one is just a small one.
The ones that you can see first. And let's begin the conversation from there. Mr. Joe Igbokwe, an APC leader in Lagos State and a former special advisor on environment and drainage in Lagos. Thank you, sir, for coming and weighing on the program.
God bless you.
Well, that's it on the program. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics.